Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brandon, also known as Branmatt, and welcome back to yet another StarCraft II replay. Today, we are going to be on one of the newer maps as of recording this video. I don't know when it's actually going to be up on the channel, but as of recording this video, this is one of the newer maps for the brand new map pool that just came out. It is Polar Night LE, and as I have said, it is brand new to the map pool, just came out, so I'm interested in seeing this map. I've played on it a few times before, so we're going to see how this goes, if I can remember everything correctly about this map. And this is going to be a lower league game, actually. And another thing you're going to notice is my UI is a little different in terms of the observer UI. If you've been watching my previous replays, I've actually been using another UI there as well. And I decided to try other observer UIs that were a little different than the typical one that you see. So I went ahead and downloaded them, installed them, got them all set up, and I have 3 of them. I did one for 2 videos. I'm doing this one for another video or 2, and I'm going to try the third one for another video or 2. And I want your responses in the comment section down below. Which one did you like? Which ones didn't you like? Or even a list of your top favorite to your least favorite. That way I know which one's the best one to use. I have been, again, dabbling in them a little bit and figuring out which one I specifically like, but I definitely want some viewer reviews and feedback as well. So in the comment section down below, after you see these games, leave a comment on the game as well as the observer UI itself and tell me which one you do like, which one you don't like. If I have not yet mentioned, this is a lower league game, and it's actually going to be between a bronze and a silver player. And so I'm going to try to cast a few of these lower league games because I think they're always fun, and I guess they kind of drop out of the spotlight against all the pros, so hey, why not cast lower league games? So spawning here, again on Polar Night LE, as our blue Terran player is Swan, and he'll be up here in the top left-hand corner, and then down here in the bottom right-hand corner. Spawning as our purple Protoss player is Thunder, and both of them, this was, I guess, not a ladder game because they're both from the same team and custom colors, so this is probably just a custom game, but I'm interested in seeing what's happening anyway. Picked up this replay, figured, hey, why not cast it? So we have a barracks, typical Terran wall off from Swan, and down here we also have that gateway out. Nothing too crazy yet, and almost got that engineering bay block off on the Nexus here. He actually, it seems he just wanted to get the complete block off, throw down an engineering bay. The strategy behind that, you put down an engineering bay and you wait, and you only build like 10-15 seconds of it, but you cancel later when it's under attack, but you delay that expansion. And the command center from Swan is also now just coming out, as well as 2 refineries, it looks like. And he's going to continue producing a few Marines. And there's the pylon. He's actually going to deny Thunder is going to be able to deny Swan's expansion, so he's actually going to kill that off. He does have a Marine here, and I don't know if he's actually spotted that. Okay, I guess he has. He's going to move in there and kill off that pylon. Forge down here as well. He's probably going to start up a few of those photon cannons. Has the cybernetics core on its way as well. This pylon will probably be down in just a few seconds here, and it looks like his expansion is about 75% of the way done. He's halted all Marine production. At this point, it looks like both players are just focusing on their economy. Thunder is... looks like he'll just be patrolling back and forth here. He may want to potentially block off a early third base from Swan, but I don't know. We'll have to see. And the bunker down here at the front, of course. And now we see additional gateways coming down, starting to produce probes for that second expansion, and it looks like his command center may eventually come out. He is going to turn it into an orbital command before actually doing anything with it just yet. And warp gate research, just building up probes at this point, so nothing too exciting. It's just going to be a long game, it looks like. They're just going to both build up their total amount of workers, and if we check the units tab, different from the other UIs we've seen. Now it's moved down here. This is more of a minimalistic UI, so I'm kind of interested. I can put where I can put different things like the scbranmatt banner and the subscribe buttons and things like that. So we'll see how that all works out. But down here, we'll see that they do have 28 probes versus 25 SCVs, as well as 1 mule, but that doesn't really count. So they're both about similar in terms of supply. We also have a third command center on its way here now, and a pylon just barely getting the block off there. That probe looks like it's going to move up here and be able to see everything Swan is trying to do. Swan at this point has his starport as well as a factory and an armory coming along. He's probably going to be going heavy mech would be my prediction. He wants to start getting up those mech upgrades. The pylon does actually complete. He does not decide to cancel it. And it looks like this expansion is going to move down here to the third. So he's going to move it, and Thunder is actually going to see that right away with that probe. So the big problem he's going to have to face here is this base is going to be immediately spotted. Thunder knows it's going to move down there, and that's a big problem. Will he actually land it down here? He has it rallied down here, but he's not actually landing it. So I'm wondering if he'll just move this one to the natural and this one is the third base. And it doesn't seem like we have too much units on the field. We check the units here, just some Hellbats, a Marine, and of course Observer, 3 Stalkers, and a Mothership Core. So both sides just focusing on getting up their probe and SCB counts. And it looks like he will actually land this here. Again, that probe does spot it. If our Protoss player had a little bit bigger of an army, he may have been able to deal with this third base, maybe denying it or actually killing it off. But both of them, again, going through these early expansions, so that's something he really has to worry about. And misrallying, it seems. There we go. The SCVs are going to be properly rallied this time. Swan is going to be starting to build up at all 3 of these bases, so he's going to get up an early economic advantage. We check now here in the income screen. They're both about even. There's a slight lead on minerals on Swan's side, but a slight lead in gas on Thunder's side. So neither player has quite the economic edge at this point, just building up those Hellbats and Marines at this point. Also starting to produce those medevacs. He wants to get as many of them out as possible to start helping out with that bio army. And quite a few warpins coming in here for Thunder. Looks like Thunder is going to choose to go for those upgrades. It's about 75% of the way done. He'll be able to deal quite a bit of damage if he decides to engage either one of these bases. He's going to continue building up this army. It looks like he only has a total of 4 gates up, which isn't bad. He also has the 2 robotics facilities down. He's going to start Colossus production. I don't think he has the research done just yet. Does he have research coming along? It doesn't. I don't see anything done just yet. So he may have not even started it yet, or it may have already completed the extended thermal lance, which will be super helpful if he wants to deal that damage from the Colossus in the back. And it looks like he'll just be dropping down some Hellbats, or maybe he's going to try to go. Let's see where it's rallied. It looks like it's going the whole way around here. He has quite the rally point set up. So he's going to come around here. This assimilator might actually have just enough vision to spot that medevac as it's coming in. So if he does spot that, he'll be able to take it out. But he is stopping above this, which cuts off all vision because units cannot see up ramps unless he is a flying unit, or he uses an observer or something like that, which is a flying unit. And the Colossus is going to join the army in here, and the Hellbats may be able to get the drop off here. That'll be quite a bit of damage. We see additional pylons coming along, but nothing that's like photon cannons or anything that's going to be super damaging. Looks like all these Stalkers are going to move in, and this whole army here for Thunder is going to come up here. He has actually a proxy pylon set up. If we check back here, not deciding to do that drop just yet, using the speed, he is going to drop in. That whole army is out of position here for Thunder. He might be able to get quite a few kills off here. These Hellbats are dealing a lot of damage, not pulling the probes out just yet, and these probes are going to take so much damage. He does a mass recall, which I think is a little bit of an overcommitment, especially with a move like that where all Swan has to do is just boost and get out of there. So I think a way too much of an overcommitment there. All he simply has to do is pull back those probes, maybe get a Zealot or additional warpins. Just Zealots and Stalkers would have been able to clean that up just fine. And it seems like another drop coming here for 2 Hellbats. Were they able to get off any kills? They may have been able to kill off a lot. I think he got off a lot of probe kills there. If we check the units killed screen, 36 workers killed. Okay, so he killed everything here in the main base and quite a few off in the second base. So Thunder is going to deal with quite a bit of problems immediately here. 36 workers dead right at the beginning. This is going to be a massive hit. In fact, this will just give Swan the absolute lead. If we check economy at this point, it's not even like near, just not even any competition. Swan is really just leading this by an immense amount. So Thunder needs to start building up those workers really quickly, start chrono boosting them as much as possible if he wants to stay in the game. And it looks like he will choose to go in here, see if he can get any SCB kills off for himself. So he move in here, starting to get quite a few SCB kills off here. And it looks like Swan's army is just standing there. They're not going to do anything just yet. He has a few Vikings in that mix. He might be able to get the third base killed off here, and the third base actually will go down. Pulls out of here. Thunder needs to pull out if he wants to keep this army. These Vikings will kill off a mothership core, and he needs to get out of there now if he does not want to lose this entire army. This entire army might actually go down. He's going to attack into here. These mech units are going to take a ton of damage. He might actually get off quite a few kills here. Swan is going to lose a lot in that battle. I think a lot more than he actually needed to. If he used a little bit of micros, he might have been able to get some of those hellbats back and out of the damage. But he did lose a third base there. If we look at workers killed, he did get 20 workers killed. So Thunder got a little bit of revenge in there. If we check, it's still massively in the lead for Swan. Swan still has a big lead in both minerals and gas. So it's not much of a competition at this point, but Thunder is slowly inching his way back into this thing. Again, losing a lot of units there, though. If we look back in that units killed, we do see that a total of 36 units were killed, as opposed to 52 for Swan. So Swan got quite a few units killed, but again, that was, I mean, I guess Thunder just got quite a few kills off there, and it looked like he lost quite a bit of that mech army. Still building up a lot of mech units here, getting Thors and tanks. It looks like he's going to be setting up yet another command center and a fifth. So he's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This third base here is almost complete. He's going to be able to build up that account again. It doesn't look like Thunder actually, I think he misrallied that there. Still has that proxy pylon there, and Swan might move up a unit or two to kill off that proxy pylon. Accidentally rallying those, did not lose any of those Colossus. He wants to set up a third base of his own. It's 16 minutes into the game. This is a point where he really needs to start setting those up. Again, while he did take out quite a bit of losses, economy-wise, he is only slightly behind. He's only behind by about like 11 probes at this point, which is still a considerable amount in terms of income, but he can make it up. He is inching his way back into this thing, but he still needs to set up a third base somewhere here. He needs to get his third base up as soon as possible. Scanning into that base, sees Thunder's entire army, and if we look on Thunder's upgrades, which this UI, I guess, doesn't show. Huh. Well, there we go. There's one thing. If you don't like that, go ahead and notify me about it. But if we look in production, we'll be able to predict from here. He's trying to get level 1 ground armor, and it seems like in the production, just building up those mech army as well as getting additional immortals. He's going to continue immortal production. That could be quite devastating, especially against this mech army. This mech army isn't too large or too intimidating, it seems. I mean, it's quite a considerable force, but with quite a bit of immortals, he'll probably be able to dish out a lot of damage. Thunder really needs to build up that army. It doesn't seem like he's very consistent in terms of warpins. The warpins seem quite delayed quite often. Swan's probably going to do yet another Hellion or Hellbat drop in the back of the base here. We're going to have to see how well Thunder responds to that. I'm surprised he didn't put down at least like a cannon or two in the back here to protect against that again. And the mass recall again seemed like quite a bit of a waste to put on that. If we look back up here, Swan is definitely building up that force, continuing to build up that force, moving out those missile turrets, and will be killing off that proxy pylon. It took quite a bit of time for him to actually move out there. These 2 additional orbital commands are finished. He's going to use them for SCV production, probably for call downs as well. It looks like he'll be landing a command center or orbital command over here in the right-hand position, and probably over here in the left-hand position. Look at that, I can predict. So he'll be landing over in those 2 positions. Obviously, the income will be awesome from Swan. And still no third base from Thunder. I mean, Thunder is, I think he's just way behind at this point. He really needs to continue building up the amount of his army, and again, he just needs to get a 3rd and 4th base up. Swan just has so many bases at this point. It's already looking in Swan's favor. Swan was able to get off that awesome attack. The mass recall seemed a little bit of a waste, and didn't hold off any of that really well. He probably could have done that with just a few warpins, and now Swan has 5 bases, and 19, almost 20 minutes into the game, Thunder is still sitting only on 2 bases. It looks like Swan's probably gearing up for an attack at this point. He did scan and see that entire army from Thunder, noticing that this isn't going to be much of a threat. So Thunder going to continue building up the forces here. But again, yeah, here we go. We just see Swan starting to move out now, seeing that there isn't much competition there. He'll probably just be able to put these all in siege mode, and that'll deal enough damage as is. He has quite a few Vikings as well, and those Vikings will be able to deal out a ton of damage as well as these Hellbats. I mean, it's just really this entire mech army is going to be able to deal a lot of damage. It seems like there's a limited amount. There's a handful of Immortals in there in that army, as well as Stalkers coming in, so he's constantly getting those Warpins. It looks like he is going to go for Shields level 1, but that's not going to help against this army. This army's just going to push in here, and Thunder's moving out. Does he not even realize that Swan's at the front here? It looks like Thunder's just going to go ahead, and Hellbat's dropping again, killing off this entire army. This is just not good for Thunder. Thunder decides, what am I going to do? Is he just going to completely come around the back? This actually might be devastating for those tanks, but just so much damage being dished out there. He's going to lose that. A lot of these Colossus Vikings moving in there. These Colossus are going to go down very quickly, and that army from Thunder is wiped out very quickly. Very few losses from Swan. If you check the units lost tab, we can see clearly the Swan has got the majority of unit kills there. And at this point, he's just going to be able to move in, and GG. Game over. Congratulations to Thunder for taking the victory in this game. Swan doing pretty well, but Thunder just, I mean, Swan controlling so well. Thunder did pretty well, but Swan building all those bases, constantly keeping up his production, and just taking out all the probes, causing a ton of economic damage. So congratulations to Swan for taking the game and doing so well. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like the video, and of course maybe even favorite if you enjoyed it quite a bit. Leave your comment down below with both your thoughts on the game, and of course tell me what you think about the different Observer UIs, whether or not you like this one, pros and cons, your list of favorite UIs, and I can check them all out and see which one is best. So leave your opinion. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time.